How are you supposed to watch Alien? In 1979, most would say in the theater. After all, that was the only medium it was presented on. But what about today? What would be the best way to watch Alien? Blu-ray would allow you to see all the great details in the frame. But Alien didn't become one of the most popular sci-fi horror films because of a high-def viewing experience. Alien might have been shot for film, but it exists today because of tape. Countless people saw Alien for the first time on VHS, with muted colors and degradation of detail. Were they wrong in their viewing? It's easy to say that it was just circumstance. It was the only way people could watch movies at the time. But what if there was something else? What if that magnetic tape in a plastic shell held some kind of cinematic secret? A medium can only become art when it becomes obsolete. This is the art of the video home system. If you were to ask someone what movies benefit the most from being on tape, you're likely to get the same sort of answers. These are films with some sort of emphasis on the medium, be it found footage, or in the case of The Ring and Videodrome, the tape medium factors into the narrative itself. But some films are meant for the medium. As mentioned before, the Blair Witch Project simply seems perfect for viewing on tape. After all, it was shot partially on 8mm tapes. While its effect could be captured on a film projection, or even on digital transfer, its full effect is captured on VHS. It returns the film to its gritty and realistic roots, subconsciously reinforcing the idea that this is something that actually happened. It helps mask the low production quality in favor of a sort of accidentally on purpose look. Within the same genre, another film captures the power of tape through an entirely different way. 28 Days Later was shot entirely with a Canon XL Mini DV camcorder. DVC tapes are one of few still sold in stores today. While 28 Days Later doesn't posit itself to be in the real world, it employs tape's advantages all the same. The world is dirty, and there's no better way to show the decay of society than to ignore the high-form quality of digital and opt for a grittier, less perfect look. While these movies work perfectly fine on digital, they carry a different viewing power on VHS. This is the same way that a movie shot on film, such as Alien, can be more effective in its core purpose, that being to scare, on tape as opposed to the full detail rendered by digital. In the words of Jacob Brogan, in his interview with Slate on the VCR. The other thing is that some kind of important movies were shot on VHS or have an intrinsic relationship to the medium. I can't imagine seeing Todd Haynes' Superstar without the warble and the static of VHS. As we move farther and farther away from the era of VHS, its nostalgic power strengthens. Online creators such as Off Track Outlet dedicate their time to recreating modern movies on VHS format, and it's not hard to see why. A movie like 2016's The Void is begging to be watched on VHS. From its retro horror aesthetic to the creature effects that could benefit from a layer or two of degradation, other modern horror films, such as It Follows, follow the same wave of retrofitting past horror sensibilities into a modern time. When it comes to Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez's Grindhouse films, the attempts to emulate the so-bad-it's-good exploitation films of the 70s should only work on the gritty medium of which they were mostly viewed. Films like these want to be dirty and not entirely in focus, but on modern mediums, that effect is only registered through cinematic form, and not in the whole of the viewing experience. The attempt to go retro with film often ignores the retro mediums. Tape may be ugly, but even film proves too cumbersome for many modern filmmakers. Some filmmakers realize the power of the medium and embrace it. Any possible renaissance is held in the hands of Harmony Korine. No film better epitomizes the power of VHS than Harmony Korine's horriblest opus, Trash Humpers. In a 2009 interview with Vulture, Korine said, "There's this obsession nowadays with technology, with the fact that everything looks so clear, everything needs to be so high definition. There was a strange beauty in the analog. You almost have to squint to see things through the grain in the mist. There's something sinister about it. And Trash Humpers delivers, While making use of the found footage genre, Crane uses the gritty nature of VHS to reinvigorate the medium, delivering a film that could be made no other way. The true-to-life nature of the characters and environments exploited by Crane's band of misanthropic trash humpers is only enhanced by the medium it was produced on. The grainy nature of tape dulls the details and removes any potential polish. The film loses any chance at beauty and embraces the ugliness of tape. Is it likely that we will continue to see film regress in medium, like trash humpers? Not really, but that's the mystique of it. If every other film was shot on tape, the grit of VHS would be lost in the commotion. However, as digital continues to dominate as the primary format, I think we will continue to see artists experiment with the lo-fi video formats, ranging from 8mm to VHS.